When I was 6, 7 years old, I could remember playing in the park, running around with the football thinking I'm Randall Cunningham. He was my favorite quarterback. Tony Dorsett, catching passes like Jerry Rice, and of course, being a man like Walter Payton.
All right.
But as we know, when you have those dreams, and as adults we know this, we also got to deal with reality. And that happened real early in my life. And the first change that happened for me was a change of address. See, because right around 7, 8 years old, my father wasn't in the house anymore. We were getting evicted from this apartment where we lived in by this big park. And we were going from home to home to home, from family member to family member to family member, just to have a place where me and my brothers and my mom, we could lay our head. Basically, we were homeless. And when we finally settled down in Lakeland, Florida, where I was born and raised, but we settled down in this neighborhood called the Black Bottom. For us, we didn't have things in this new apartment that we take for granted today. Most of the times we didn't have lights. We didn't have a refrigerator in this apartment, ever, not one time. And as time went on, a year or so later, that's when I discovered why in the hell are we in the Black Bottom? No one in here, out there, can tell me once you make up your mind and you say that this is what it's going to be, that's what it can be.
Yes.
Because for me, once you make up your mind and you burn that bridge and say you're just moving straight ahead, it's funny how things come into place, just kind of fall into place out of nowhere. You know, things just happen. And when I got to high school, that's when I seen the path. I seen people getting college scholarships for being good at sports. So if I'm good at sports, if I'm better than most of these people, I can go to college. And I had college scholarship offers, and I took the one at Wake Forest University. I became a student athlete at Wake Forest University. And I went there with all of that passion that I played high school football with, and I became all-time leading receiver at Wake Forest and also in the Atlantic Coast Conference, Power 5 Conference. And when that happens, guess who come calling in? The NFL come calling. And it was April 19th, 1999. And I'm sitting in my mom's apartment with about 20, 25 other people. And the phone rang, and it's Coach Mike Shanahan of the Denver Broncos. And he asked one question: how would you feel being a Denver Bronco? And with that, I was drafted in the 6th round in the NFL. We were playing the New Orleans Saints in the NFC Championship game. And it was in the 3rd quarter. I caught a pass right down the seam. I caught it, I got up and I celebrated like none other. And then the snow started coming down. It was like a movie scene. And I recall holding that NFC George Halas trophy, walking around. I got my mom, my dad, I got nieces and nephews, my brothers, everybody at the game. And I could just recall holding that and thinking, this is what I was dreaming about when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. And after that Super Bowl, I just started looking back on my life. Like, I'm a product of a broken home. I'm a product of a blind man who's a drug addict who I used to run in and out of drug houses with and light his crack pipe from a home that didn't have lights and a refrigerator. How did I get here? And I sat on that for months. And here are 4 things that I tell you. If you dive into this and you incorporate these things into your life, these will be the cornerstones. This will be the foundation to build any success that you want to build. Number 1 is this: always know all you have is your word and your name. That's who you are. That's your brand. Just like any other company, you're a brand, you're a company, whether you know it or not. Be very intentional about your interactions, because through your interactions, people are going to have something to think about you when they say your name. Number 2 is this: the power of relationships. When we used to come back into that dark house at night, nothing going on, my mom used to always tell us, as long as we have us, we have enough. And as I got older, I started thinking about this. Okay, us, that was just 4 people in that household. What if us becomes worldwide? The power of relationships. Number 3 is this: being self-motivated. What you do don't determine how good or bad I'm gonna be. Be self-motivated. You don't need to look at anybody else to determine a level of excellence. And the last thing is this: have a commitment to excellence. Anything you do should be how everything you do. Be committed to excellence. You want to be great? Do the small, detailed, small things in excellence consistently over time if you want to achieve greatness.